And I'm delighted that I'm with Sarah Connor here from the Cool Bean. I was about to say the Cool Bean Company, but it's not. It's the Cool Food Company now, coming soon. First of all, tell us how you started, because it's a really, really interesting story.
Yeah, so originally myself and my business partner Zalda started because we were both working in corporate roles. We were working really long hours, like finishing work 9, 10 o'clock, and wanting something that was really healthy and convenient to eat. And we just couldn't find a lot of products out there. You know, everything was really processed, full of sugars and salts. So we could see, you know, in all the gourmet places, brunch places, you know, beans on toast popping up, like fancy beans on toast. And like Gordon Ramsay was selling them for £20 in his restaurant in London.
As he does.
Yeah, so like there's got to be something in this. So we basically tested the market first. So we bought a little mobile catering unit, and we're still both working full time at this stage. We're into Electric Picnic, Body and Soul, Forbidden Fruit, just to see if people would actually buy it. And we got an amazing response at the festivals. We tweaked the product, we made it gluten free, we took out the refined sugar to make it a bit healthier, replaced it with honey, and really listened to the customers and built our like minimum viable product in the back of a van in a field in Stroud Valley.
And was it hard or was it easy, because you have a product that's quite unique in that it's gourmet. It was gourmet beans. So I mean, was that a harder sell because it was something different, or because it easier because there was a novelty there?
There's a lot of I mean, that's a tough question actually, because for some customers it was great because they loved the novelty. They were able to equate, you know, oh, you know, baked beans, I know what baked beans are, but these are better and you know, healthier and everything. And then for other people, you know, they couldn't get the value creation piece. They were saying, well, I could buy tin beans for cheaper than this, and we were like, well, actually no, they're so different from tin beans. They're all fresh and natural. There's no additives, no preservatives. It's, you know, in the chill fridge versus on the ambient shelf. So there was a lot of education that had to be overcome. So for some customers, they get it, and then for others, that takes a little bit more education and kind of talking, sampling, tasting.
It's that difficult as well, because you obviously need to try and educate without being pretentious either.
Of course, yeah.
And so you have to kind of talk with the customer and not go, hey, you.
Like when I say education, I suppose it's more like telling people what your product is.
Yeah.
So it's actually marketing. So like I suppose the education piece is around actually meeting customers and getting the product into their hands, getting them to try it and telling them what it is. So like, you know, for other companies you can use, you know, online, and they can buy that product, they can remarket you online, they can target you with ads on Facebook. We can do that, but then you can't look at conversion to sales. You actually have to be out physically meeting people, telling them about your company, telling them about the product, and then getting them to try it, you know.
Tell us about the brand new version of you. Why did you decide that it was time to kind of go into newer foods or different foods, branch out?
I think we kind of so we've grown really quickly, and you know, we've got an amazing response on our signature range. But we've also gotten loads of queries from people as to, you know, how can I use this with other products, and you know, are you doing anything new that you can add to it? Are you doing any new flavors? So like immediately our first, you know, things are we're working on a new flavor of the current range, and then we're looking at bringing in more types of beans and more types of lentils. We're also looking at a full meal solution product with a baked potato on one side and beans on the other. So that would allow you to have like a really nutritious, healthy meal within 3 minutes. So there's things like that. We're kind of looking at upgrades of the product to make it more convenient. And we're also looking at new flavor profiles, and then we're kind of toying with some other completely different products that are away from our core range as well. But again, you have to
Can you give us a little hint as to what those core products, different products are?
All around healthy, convenient food.
So is the I suppose the strand or the theme running through the newer side of the company, is it going to be kind of what you've done before, which is take a healthy, a reasonably healthy option, make it healthier, take out all the bad stuff that's in it, but just kind of rejig it along the same lines as what's already on the market, but just make it healthier?
So, well, we feel like some of the
Or are you talking about brand new, completely different foodstuffs?
We're looking at some brand new stuff, and then we're also looking at some kind of upgrades. So like, you know, if you look at what Cully and Sully did, like they took soup out of the ambient aisle, out of the tin into the chill aisle, and they're, you know, obviously a huge success story onto that. If you look at Innocent Smoothie, they took, you know, juice out of the ambient aisle into the chill cabinet as well, so adding value to it and making the product fresher and healthier. So we definitely are looking at areas where we can bring that innovation into products, because you know, the reason a lot of foodstuffs are like that is because bigger companies are just focused on the profits and they're not focused on actually the nutritional values of the food. So like, that's what's tough for smaller companies like us. We make smaller margin, and it's much harder because you don't have the same marketing budgets, but actually the ethos of your brand and what you're making is so important to you, because you want to make really quality products with great ingredients.
And is that difficult from a logistics point of view as well, in terms of your stuff is now in the chill cabinet,
Yeah,
it's got a shelf life, yeah,
yeah.
etc. So does that mean that you're constantly reassessing the minimum values that you have to make to fill orders? Or
supply chain is really difficult. You know, we're constantly looking at supply and demand. You know, you have to hold packaging, you have to hold stock, but you also have to look at how much to cook every week, how many times you're cooking. So all that stuff is really difficult and has been a huge learning curve. And you know, as a starting out supplier, you know, you might be able to short your customer once or twice, but you can't short them every week.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get those things right. And we've asked for a lot of help on that from other companies, like how are they doing it, what systems should we be using, all that kind of stuff.
how do you make sure as well that, because obviously if you scale up and you grow bigger, etc., it means you have to have bigger and faster ways of getting your product out to the market as well, maybe using bigger vats or etc., whatever. How do you make sure that the taste profile stays the same as something that you would have cooked on your stove at home?
Constant testing. So like we're really anal about it as well. Like we're like smoky. The bean
When it comes to food, though, you kind of have to be, though, don't you?
Yeah, you have to be. And we sample across the country every week, across multiple locations, and we quality check everything. So like this week we had, you know, some feedback on, you know, one of the products that there wasn't enough bean percentage that it should have been in it. So like things like that, you know, and like we're back to then like our agitation methods and making sure that that doesn't happen, you know, because we get very few complaints because we quality check so often, and we look at every single unit that's going out, and we look at consistency and taste profile, and you have to in food. It's so important because you could make someone sick otherwise.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd be more concerned about the person who has to check bean percentage in your food.
Yeah. Well, that was, you know, like that's back to, you know, it's 48% beans, and someone will say, oh, I don't think there was 48% beans in my pot. You know, and you have to listen if that's what they think. So
Fantastic. If people want to find out more about what you're doing, how you do it, and of course picking up the product and where they can buy it too, where can they do that?
Yeah, so the product's available nationwide in Super Value, in Spar, in Eurospar, Centra, in Mace and Londis, and we've just kind of launched with all those convenience stores, so it's on every store yet, so please ask for it in your local store if they don't have it.
Absolutely,
they can order it in, and yeah, we're really excited about getting out to more customers and getting to try the product.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us and give us an insight into a fantastic startup and what you've been doing over the past number of years, and of course by the sounds of it, it's only going to get bigger and better as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.